And these are broke men conversations.
Okay.
These are broke men conversations. What are you bringing to the table? What are you going to give me? I want to live in my soft life. I want to be
not
the
his soft
princess.
life.
What are you doing for me? Why don't you court me? Why don't you open my door? What size tampon do you use? Because at this point, it's giving, are you the woman in the relationship?
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I want to hit 200,000 subscribers this year in 2025. Coop needs your help, bro. Got a reaction video here from the always single and always miserable Claudia Jordan. Let's see what we got. Hit the like button.
There was a really interesting video that was going around social media, and I live on social media.
Yes, you do.
It's because I don't have a man right now.
It's like, how many hours? 12 hours a day?
Well, that would be time that I would use having sex. But now I'm just like watching videos on Instagram.
All right.
Not the whole
Same.
Not the whole 12 hours, but some of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a video I want you to take a look at, and I want to see what you think about this.
Okay.
There's a viral video going around of American men and Russian men being asked if they would provide for their wives. Every single American man said no. They said they wanted to go 50-50. One even said, she's an adult, she can provide for herself. They all mocked the idea of providing for their wives. Every single Russian man said yes. They were dumbfounded at the question, actually. One said, it's my wife, of course. They weren't like, well, it's 50-50. What's she bringing to the table? She can get a job. No, they recognized the value and privilege of just having a woman in their lives. We hear a lot of complaints from American men about modern women and how they aren't feminine, but they're not even functioning as providers and protectors. They want women to be their roommates who pay half the bills, provide a maid service for their dusty apartment, and are their bedroom buddy. When these men try to go find wives overseas, the women are always like, I'm not coming back to help you pay bills and lay down with you. Are you crazy? See, these men want women to be feminine, but they have her out in her masculine all day doing more of the heavy lifting and providing than they do. There's no benefit to you, sweetie.
First of all, let me say this. I'm not listening to no gay man tell me about heterosexual relationships.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
I can look at Claudia Jordan and realize she's about to say some dumb shit. Wow, that's why when Mr. Ma'am was talking a second ago, I was Googling Claudia's age. She is 51 years old. This woman is 51. The Russian point that you try to bring up doesn't really even matter. Russia's economy and America's economy are two totally different things. Are they still fighting Ukraine? Not the point. And then he said one more thing that just always irritates me having these conversations is if a woman has to work or for whatever reason, they'll blame the man for a woman being masculine. Because she has to go to work, she's in her masculine. No, she should be at work and just be feminine. It's always an excuse. Let's see what Claudia has to say.
And that is actually Christian Walker. Do you know who that is?
I do. That's Herschel Walker's son?
Herschel Walker, that was just
That's Herschel Walker's son, by the way.
to be ambassador to the Bahamas because we need that.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very difficult, negotiations going on with the Bahamas.
Okay.
Lots of, anyways, but his message, what he's saying, what do you think about it?
I agree. Yeah, I do agree. And here's the thing. When we talk about 50-50, people always think like, if I make $10 and you make $10 and we're both putting in 5 type thing. I don't see 50-50 as being monetary. I see 50-50 as being sweat equity, labor equity, child rearing equity. And I think that in America, there is a sense that it is very monetary. If our rent is $1,000, then we're each paying $500. And I just don't see that fitting with the current landscape that we have in this country.
Why not?
My husband is Canadian. He has a different type of idea of what it means to have a 50-50 household. So I don't equally share monetary responsibilities, but I definitely am in a position to make sure that his life is easier so that he can do what he needs to do for the two of us.
Well, your husband's not broke. And these are broke men conversations.
Okay.
These are broke men conversations. What are you bringing to the table? What are you going to give me? I want to live in my soft life. I want to be the princess. What are you doing for me? Why don't you court me? Why don't you open my door? Bitch, what size tampon do you use? Because at this point, it's giving, are you the woman in the relationship? I'm sorry, but this really irritates me when I hear this.
This is a 50-year-old woman who still don't have no man. And this is all sign language, people. It say this is a broke man's mentality. Coop doing all right, well into the 6 figures. And I still don't believe that a woman should be able to just stay in your house and live for free. I'm sorry. Nothing on this planet is free. The only people that get to live for free without contributing anything financial are children. Because if that same woman was living by herself, she would have to pay 100% of her bills. I don't care if a man and woman does 30, 70. You know, I'm not saying men and women have to be 50-50 in a relationship. It could be 70-30, it could be 60-40, whatever it is that works for you two. But the notion, and this probably what separates me from other male content creators, I don't care. The notion that a woman thinks that she should be able to live without contributing anything financially is just absurd to me, when, if she was on her own, she'd be kicking in 100% of her bills. So if you're going 50-50 with somebody, you're saving half your money. And I can already tell why Claudia's single. This is in the first couple minutes.
Because I miss the times where men were really proud. I saw another video online where a man said the biggest flex is getting your woman out of the workforce, making it where she can do stuff if she wants to, not a control thing, but like I'm making enough money that you don't have to work, but I do appreciate what you do, because we all understand that in most relationships, the woman is going to carry the majority of the load at home.
And in most relationships, the man is going to carry the majority of the financial aspect of being at home. And then she said that she saw somebody say that that's the biggest flex for a man to be able to pretty much retire his wife. Look, I'm okay with that as well. But not for every single woman, not for any woman just because she's a wife. No, for a woman that's held you down and possibly assisted and made your life easier when you were on the come up. A woman that's rolled that ride with you from the very beginning. And there was times where she had to work for years, but now you've ascended to the point financially where that you don't need her to. And if a woman has been helping a man out through the duration of that ascendment, I have no problem with that. But not just, oh, hey, I'm a woman, I don't have to work, or I shouldn't have to work. Get the fuck out of here.
I think a lot of this does come from a lack mindset as opposed to an abundance mindset. And the truth is, a lot of men come from households where their mother was the provider, where they're single parent households, and the mother was the strong one. And they really anticipate that being the role of their wife and or partner or girlfriend, you know, when we're talking about heteronormative relationships. And that needs to change. I think a lot of women, it would behoove them as mothers to explain to their children, particularly their sons, that this isn't the ideal situation. This was a situation that I was forced into or circumstanced into, but you want something greater. To be quite honest, my husband, I say all the time, I did not marry a rich man. I married a financially responsible person. And because of that, we were able to come up with a system that worked for us. But let me be 100% honest. My husband is far more successful now than he was when we first started dating. And a big part of that was that I played a 50-50 role in ensuring that his life was so streamlined that all he had to concentrate on was going out and making bigger moves. And when it was my turn, he did the same for me.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. She was his helpmate. She helped him. By her saying streamline, that means deal with any other small issue that would make his life easier if he didn't have to worry about it. Having his clothes ready, having his meals cooked, making sure the house is clean, making sure the home is quiet. A man doesn't want to work all damn day and come home to a circus at his house. She did the wifely duties. And from what it sounds like, she rose with him. She was with him while he was shooting in the gym. Women like that should be rewarded for it.
Well, they say there's that whole thing that was trending on social media, like that black girl magic, like with the upgrading. I'm not saying you made your man. I'm not saying that at all.
No, but
I do think
I played a part.
Well, you know what? He's not here today, so we can talk more shit. Like Erica said, I made him.
I played a part.
I made that.
No, Viv,
and I hate to stop it again, man, but she just proved another point. So many women take credit for making their man. This woman just said out of her own mouth, she never said she made him. She said she assisted him. What does Claudia do? Turn right around and say, oh, you made your husband.
My mother-in-law did an
He would be
amazing
nothing
job.
Without me.
No, she did an
I
amazing
did that
job. But I'm going to be quite honest. Like, I do not see him on the same trajectory, the way that he has moved in the past 10 years since we've been together. Those are things that I definitely contributed to. And I don't think that he would say anything different.
I think men that have this 50-50 mentality thing when it's so like down the middle, where I know, I mean, there was a conversation before with Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union about like 50-50 with the bills, and he makes a lot more money than her. And people were like, wait, what? And I just feel like we're getting away from, I do like, listen, I know some men will probably say you can't have it both ways. Yes, I can, because why not? like wanting the chivalry and wanting like somewhat traditional roles, but then also wanting equality in the workplace. I don't think that's a contradiction. I really don't.
It is a contradiction. You can't have it all. And that's what people in the comments were saying. Claudia clearly wants to have it all, and you can't. You can't be traditional one minute, then extreme feminist the next minute. You can't have it all. And then she made one more point about Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. And I remember doing content on them some time ago. Dwayne Wade makes hell of a lot more money than Gabrielle Union. They go 50-50. You know why? Because Gabrielle Union wanted to go 50-50. It was her idea because she didn't like the way he was trying to call the shots or something like that.
We decided together, because I think I said one time we was in Miami, I said something about it being my house that I paid for. My wife looked at me, she was like, you will never say that to me again when it's something that we share. And so my wife was like, that when we moved to LA, I got half on it. You will never say my house again.
It's not a contradiction, but again, when we have these conversations, we're looking at it from a 360 view. If you've only had just any experience 180, it's very difficult to understand both sides. Like, I absolutely do expect my husband to open doors for me. I expect him to make sure that I'm walking on the inside of the sidewalk as away from the street. Those are things that I do have an expectation for. But when we're at home or when we're navigating our lives, whether it's finance or social, I am an equal partner and I have an equal voice. So I think you can have both of those things. But he also isn't a person who gets emasculated by the idea that I have an equal voice, because he understands the value of my voice.
Good counsel.
Don't you, do you feel, I know I feel, since like, I can't blame all the ills of relationships in America on this last election, but I do feel like a really ugly side of misogyny has been revealed with this last election. Like, I feel like men are like going back to like pounding on their chests like cavemen about like, you know, your body, my choice, or, you know, they're like bragging or happy to kind of like suppress women. And I do feel like there was like a true gender war that's happening right now. And you see these videos popping up all over social media. I think they need to ban podcast equipment for men. No more. We have enough. I need no more of those. The market is flooded. But it's all these bad takes on relationships. And I think these men that are saying this, is it working for them? Because I do know I've been hearing that people are having less sex now. Testosterone is also down. The sex drives are down. And I don't know, it just seems like the times of like masculine, manly, sexual, just dominant, protective men, I don't see that as much.
Society doesn't want men to be masculine anymore, and feminism get into that immensely. But she said something a second ago, you know, I have to address the male podcast. You notice what she said? The male podcasters, they need to take their mics. She didn't say that about women podcasts. I said it before and I say it again. These women hate male podcasts. They hate it because we're able to spread information, and so many more men are waking up. And that's true. Men are having less sex, and I believe about the testosterone, as she stated. But men are focusing on themselves now and getting their shit together and becoming the best version of themselves. But they hate these male podcasts because we're spreading information. How many times have you seen videos of women like, damn, what's up with these new dudes acting like they know they worth? Like, they not putting up with my petty bullshit anymore. Or damn, they acting like they ain't got to deal with this. That's a reflection of these male podcasts. They hate it. She would never tell women to put their microphone
Now,
on.
I did find this little, study online, right? So on top of these men wanting to go 50-50 with you, American men have their nerve, because I looked up the average global penis size. And in the counting of the nations, guess where America ranks in penis size?
Where?
59th. We come in 59th place. Oh, I lost my penis post. Hold on.
Not the penis.
59th place with an average length. What do you think average is?
4.
Oh, wow. Really, Erica?
I
5.35 inches, right?
Okay.
That is average. Now the country with the biggest, would you like to guess?
I'm gonna go with Italy.
Italy is number 19.
Okay.
Ecuador is number 1, 6.93 inches.
Wow.
So all these men that are like, I got 9 inches, lies. Knock it off.
Move your goofy ass to Ecuador then. What are we talking about here? You want to sit back and Google in which countries have the biggest tits and ass? What are you, 15?
No one on here has 9 inches. That's like freak of nature.
It's folklore. Yeah.
Ecuador, Cameroon, Bolivia, Sudan, Haiti, Senegal, Gambia, Cuba, Netherlands, Zambia, and France. Top 11. America is number 59. So on top of you lazy does not want to pay bills, demanding your woman work, contribute half the money, half the bills, give this, give that, and pamper you and do all your laundry, do all the other things that you really can't put a price tag on. You're not even bringing ample peni to the relationship.
Here we are back with the peni.
We're back to the peni. I'm going to find a way to fit peni into every single episode.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Are you?
Because, yes, I am. Because I think when you say these men, I say some men.
Of course, because, not all.
You know, and the thing
you got the one unicorn left though in America.
Yeah, but I think ultimately what's happened is a lot of people who have felt like they've been attacked, oppressed, marginalized as men. Yes.
So there's marginalized and attacked men in America?
Well, that's how they're feeling. And those minority groups are, I'm saying minority is in small number, you know.
As in 5.93 inches?
Yeah. I'm saying the minority groups are minority, or they're feeling like they're in a minority class, are getting louder. And that's generally what happens in an echo chamber. I think that people have felt very emboldened especially over the past few months, especially with the political cycle, to say things that they haven't felt comfortable or protected in saying before. And that's why it sounds so loud. I welcome everyone to have a mic. I know that we don't need to hear from everyone, but that's ultimately our personal choice, whether we want to listen to who's saying what. But for me, it's kind of the same way that I look at getting the information about what's happening in the world. I want to hear from the left, I want to hear from the right, and I want to hear straight up the middle. Because if we are silent, or if we start to ignore the minority voices or the fringe voices, then we get blindsided. And that's the reason why people are always so shocked when, you know, the election goes a certain way, or, you know, people are voting a certain way. People are shocked by that because they aren't listening to dissenting opinions.
I hear you, Erica, but I'm going to play the devil's advocate.
Okay.
Some of these voices need to be suppressed because they're idiots. And I stand by that. I'm sick of it. How dare a white privileged male in America have the audacity to think in any way, shape, or form that he's oppressed? It really kills me with that. Like, oh, we're not getting the love, we're not getting the attention, we're not getting the privilege. You guys run the world literally. Like, you go to countries, you take clubs, you knock people over the head, you take their land, you take their women, you take their jewelry, you take their gold, you take their silver, you take everything.
Don't forget the spices.
Oh, and the spices that they never use, mind you. Colonizers, like, please, because will it kill you to use them? I know I said it wrong. That's why you laugh.
I actually kind of agree with her point. I do think it's ridiculous to see white dudes on social media complain about how they're ostracized and everyone else is taking over the country and all that BS. I actually kind of agree with her. But here's the difference. White men know that they will be criticized no matter what. Yeah, white men run the world. Cool. But those same white men will get criticized every day. Like President Donald Trump is criticized every day. Or President Biden. They accept that and they understand that, just like black men do. And I say that to say this, that black women don't feel the same way. Unfortunately, and I wish it wasn't true, black women feel that there are one group of women who can't be criticized whatsoever. Imagine the things that she just said about white men with no problem. Nobody cancel her. Think about if a white man said the reverse and countered the same points that she said about black women. You have hell to pay, so there's that.
No.
Cumin. I said cumin, cumin, whatever. But they don't use them. And it's like, this whole, maybe I'm old school, but I've never been one to have sympathy or empathy for participation trophies. And I stand by that. Yeah. I feel like when we do that, like we take away like what exceptionalism, I tried to say a big word with the drink. You take away from the people that really work hard to like be great. Mm-hmm. And that goes in all areas, relationships. Everyone's like got a voice, everyone counts, everyone matters, even when they say idiotic, stupid things. I'm a fan of people that say dumb shit not being heard, and I am all for suppressing them. You're not oppressed, you're just stupid, and we don't want to hear from you.
Well, if dumb people shouldn't be heard, that means they would be silencing you, Claudia. Shows you're not that bright. I saw a couple comments that I thought were pretty good under the video. I don't understand why Claudia keeps talking about wanting an old school masculine man while she's a staunch feminist, which in itself has been a masculine man for over the past years. You can't have it both ways. And that's actually Claudia responded underneath that comment under another account. She just says, LOL. That's what I'm saying, man. They don't think, bro. They don't think. They just say what's on their mind without giving it any energy intellectually. Here's another comment I thought was pretty good. Used to love to provide for my woman, but social media turned us type of guys into licks or tricks. So I and many other men have stopped. For what? So y'all can go online and say how dumb we are and how you got a man to do X, Y, Z for you and went to your sneaky link house after, that's another good point as well. A lot of these women are in like these small, like, not small, they're like in these Facebook groups and things like that where they can be in a loving relationship with their husband, quote unquote loving, and they're clowning him behind his back just for little points and pat on the back from other women. It's absurdly immature and bizarre, but that happens more than you would think. And P.S. to all the low attention span, social media minded individuals saying who hurt you, it's called experience. And you would never say that to a woman who puts up boundaries after messing with toxic dudes. Bless you. I love the dialogue and thoughts. Even if I don't agree, it's a blessing to be able to share your opinion and speak your mind. Facts. But nothing more to add than what I've already said in the video. When it comes to the 50-50 conversation, I promise y'all, I'm over it because I'm not doing the whole math, the 304 math, okay? A woman to have her apartment paying $1,000 a month for rent. She moves in with a man, now your rent is only $500, saving you $500. What is wrong with y'all? Unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, which makes you literally the 1%, the wealthiest people who've never known having a job because they came up from money, which again is only 1%. 99% of us have never lived that life, including myself. If you're in that 99%, you know you have to work. Again, I'm not mad at a man and a wife for getting together and saying, hey, this is how we're going to do our relationship, whether it's 45, 55, whatever. I'm not saying it's mandatory for you to go 50-50 with your woman. I'm not saying that, or a woman has to pay half the bills. Do what works best for y'all. But it's the entitlement that these women seem to have that, oh, I'm not going to work. Like they're above working. Nobody on this goddamn planet is above working. Nobody. Men go out and work until the day they die. Some men, unfortunately. That's just what it is. This irritates me, man. It really irritates me. And then it's nothing but shaming language because you think your woman should kick in financially. Oh, now I'm dusty? Get the hell out of here, man. But again, this is a woman who's over 50 and still has the mentality like a teenager and still single. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. And the other woman who was married, she seemed like she still had some modern woman in her as well, but at least she had more sense and obviously why she's married. And Claudia isn't. But you guys let me know what you think. Do better, squad. Fall out.